This story is absolutely shocking. Refusing to refer to their son using pronouns and a name inconsistent with his biological sex. Moving the teen from their custody and placing him in a gender-affirming home. When I read this, like, what world are we living in where this is happening? Could reportedly be jailed for refusing kids' gender transitions. Guys, we're in the last days. This story is absolutely shocking. Indiana parents warn the nation after child is removed from their home for improper pronoun usage can happen anywhere, they say. This is not clickbait. This is Fox News. A child, or yeah, I mean, I guess I was gonna say an adult, but a child literally got removed from their home because their parents didn't call them the right pronoun that they wanted to be called. This is crazy. I also want to show you two laws that are being passed that are bizarre. Guys, we're in the last days. We're in the days the Bible says where what's bad is called good and what's good is called bad. Let's read this here. A Catholic couple in Indiana is asking the Supreme Court to hold the state accountable for keeping their child out of their home after they declined to use his chosen names and pronouns. So now the state is saying, we're taking your kid because you're not calling them what they want to be called. Imagine your son comes home and says, I want to be called, I don't know, Katie now. I don't want to be called Keith anymore. I want to be called Katie. And you say, no, I'm not going to call you Katie. And they say, okay. And then all of a sudden CPS comes and takes your kid because you won't call them the right pronouns. That is absolutely bizarre. And that is what happened to this family. Look at this. An MC and JC versus Indiana Department of Child Services. Mary and Jamie Cox are appealing to the Supreme Court after they are investigated by Indiana officials for refusing to refer to their son using pronouns and a name inconsistent with his biological sex. Beckett is pursuing the case on behalf of the Coxes. Okay, let's go down here and look at this. Keeping a child away from loving parents because of their religious beliefs, even when the state admits there's no abuse or neglect, is wrong and against the law, she said. The court should take this case and make clear to other states you cannot take children away because of ideological disagreements. In 2019, Mary and Jeremy's son told them he identified as a girl, but in line with their Catholic religious beliefs that God created human beings with immutable sex, male or female, they did not believe in referring to him using pronouns and a name inconsistent with his biology. Let's get an amen in the chat for these parents. They said, no, we're not doing that. We're not calling you what you want to be called. In addition, the Coxes believe their son was struggling with underlying mental health conditions. Literally, that's what it is. It's called a mental health issue when you don't know what you are, including an eating disorder, so they sought therapy. But in 2021, Indiana officials began investigating after a report found they were not referring to the child by his gender identity. They're investigating this family. Again, this is bizarre. I can't even believe this is true, that they're now warning everybody saying this could happen to you. But now they're investigating them, removing the teen from their custody and placing him in a gender-affirming home. So this is a Catholic family, no abuse, no harm to him. He has food, shelter, but now, like, this seems like a joke to me. When I read this, like, what world are we living in where this is happening? And yet this is happening. Placing him in a gender-affirming home. Like, imagine 5 years ago even having to say this. Despite the unsubstantiated claims of abuse, they claim the Coxes made the child's eating disorder worse, even though it worsened after he was removed and placed in a transition-affirming home. What is this? What are we doing? What are we doing? All right, gender identity, blah, blah, blah. This is what every parent is afraid of, Mary and Jeremy Cox said in a press release. We love our son and wanted to care for him, but the state of Indiana robbed us of that opportunity by taking him from our home and banning us from speaking to him about gender. We're hopeful that justice will take our case and protect our child, our parents, from having to endure the nightmare we did, they added. When the case was first heard, they should be in a home where he's accepted and loved, they said. This is just crazy. And then look at this. And man, those are some inappropriate images there on the ads. If this can happen in Indiana, let me just make sure they're off my screen. If this can happen in Indiana, it can happen anywhere, Wyndham said. Tearing a child away from loving parents because of their religious beliefs, which are shared by millions of Americans, is an outrage to the law, parents' rights, and human decency. If the Supreme Court doesn't take this case, how many times will this happen to other families? Mind-blowing. Again, I didn't believe this was real when someone sent me it, and then I had to do some research, and it is. This is real. This was posted February 20th, just a few days ago. So look at this law. Another headline here from FaithWire. Horror, as Scottish parents could reportedly be jailed for refusing kids' gender transitions. This is even worse, because now if you don't let your kid take hormones or get their body parts chopped off, then you could literally lose your kid. A free speech watchdog is warning about a new proposal in Scotland that could reportedly lead parents to be imprisoned for refusing to comply with gender transitions for their children. What is this nonsense? You'd think it was a joke or a piece of satire, but unfortunately, it is a reality in my country of Scotland. Louise McLatchie, communications officer at ADF International, told CBN of the suggested provision. They are proposals that would ban conversion therapy, so-called conversion therapy. McLatchie said many people think of terrible treatment and worst case scenarios when it comes to these methods of attempting to change people's sexual proclivities. But while some claim the Scotland proposal deals exclusively with troubling abuses and methods, McLatchie said it runs much deeper. Although it says that it's about conversion therapy, actually goes much, much further and intervenes in what parents can advise a child. A pastor can advise a congregant or anything like that, she said. If parents were to more than once tell their child, say their 11-year-old son, that he was not allowed to wear a dress to school and lipstick and high heels and dress as a girl when he's a boy, you could potentially be guilty of committing conversion therapy, of being coercive, and therefore face a criminal trial and potential prison up to 7 years. Guys, what is happening in this world? We need God. We need revival. If you tell your 11-year-old you're not allowed to wear a dress, lipstick, or high heels to school, you can face up to 7 years. And this is Scottish parents that are talking about this. So this is crazy. You can read the rest of this article on FaithWire. But this is happening in California. Let's look at another law here. In California, parents may lose custody of their child if they resist gender transition. The California State Assembly has approved a bill, AB 957, making gender affirmation a factor to be considered under child custody cases. The bill passed on Friday by a vote of 57-16, was previously approved by California Senate with a vote of 30 to 9. This new legislation, titled the Transgender, Gender, Diverse, and Intersex Youth Empowerment, what kind of name is that? Seeks to prioritize the health and safety and welfare of children. Under the proposal law, parents who fail to acknowledge and support their children's gender transition could face potential consequences, including the loss of custody rights to another parent or even the state itself. The bill's supporters argue that it is in the best interest of the children, aiming to create a more inclusive and affirming environment for gender diverse youth. So in a nutshell, if you don't affirm your child's gender transition, they can literally take your child from you. This legislated evil, this is Michael Seifer, I don't know who this is, but this is legislated evil. California is determined to discover rock bottom. I'm so glad we left the state. I don't recognize my former home anymore. I live in California. I'm still here suffering with the taxes and everything else. We need revival in California. I'm not leaving unless the Lord tells me to. But this is just crazy. California Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democrat, is expected to sign the bill into law, underscoring the state's dedication to boosting Alphabet Plus rights and youth protections. This legislation is part of a broader effort by California lawmakers to safeguard the well-being of Alphabet community children, including a recent Senate approval to keep gender change petition documents from out of the public records. This makes my head spin. This makes me sick to my stomach that we have a family who had their parent removed from their child removed from their home because they wouldn't use his pronouns. Laws being passed where you're going to be jailed if you refuse their gender transition. And now in California, they're saying your child can be taken from you if you resist gender transition. So if you don't pump your kids with testosterone and chemicals and steroids and all of these hormone changing drugs, your kid can get taken from you in 2024. What a sick, perverted, perverse world we live in, where the Bible says men love darkness more than they love light. We need to pray for this nation. We need revival. We need awakening. I'm going to keep bringing you guys this news. At this point, I'm like a newscaster over here. I'm going to bring you guys the news. We can't be sleeping on this. We need to be awake. We need to push back. We need to get and vote. We need to go vote. We need to, write Senate. I don't know. I'm not a politician. We need to do something. I'm a guy that says we need to pray because this is just absolutely sickening and wrong. And we need to put our foot down and be Christians. Let me know what you guys think about these bills in the comments. Let me know if you want to see more of this content where I'm covering the news and what's going on. We're live Monday at 6, Tuesday at 6, and then Thursday at noon. And then we have a prayer Thursday at 1:30 p.m. for those that are YouTube members and monthly partners. Pray about becoming a monthly partner because we're supported by the viewer. We're demonetized literally everywhere but YouTube for videos like this. Would you be surprised? We have no monetization on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, so we're viewer supported. It is what it is. Make sure you sign up to the emergency email list in case they ban me everywhere. And we'll see you guys in the lives. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of this. See you guys.